So when you reverse engineer this process, what steps would you give other people, other entrepreneurs, so that they come back to this kind of story for themselves? What advice would you give?
Yeah. So by the way, I also think it's interesting. I'm gonna make one comment and then I'm gonna answer the question. There was a long time I didn't think my story mattered.
Really? Okay.
Right. There was a long time I didn't think I could use my story to help other people. And I've been on stages since I was 7 years old. And I don't say that to impress. I say that to impress on the point. Like, I was literally on stages because my story was unique, and I was from a very young age. And there was still a lot of times where I felt like my story wasn't that important, or it wasn't that big of a deal. And so often I never led with my story. So often I would have friends for 5, 6, 7 years who would never know about my accident, my injury, my arm at all, because it wasn't something that was like talked about a whole lot. It just was something that was a part of me. And so the reason I say that is I have a crazy unique story that I obviously have learned how to tell in a way that can have true impact. But I want to just say, for anybody who thinks their story isn't that important, that big of a deal, mine's one of the most unique I've ever heard. And again, I don't say that to impress. I say it to impress upon the point. And I still didn't think it was worthy. So there's a mental and emotional shift that we've got to move through. That's the first place. We have to recognize that what we've been through has made us who we are. And who we are is the gift to this world that we can then expand upon. And so you picked up on the word intentional, but what starts before intentional is aware, right? Awareness. So awareness is the first step. And that's what I say. So when we reverse engineer, whether or not you're getting into a place where you actually want to tell your story yet, the first step is to at least pause and pay attention to what are the stories that have been formative in your life. What are those moments of struggle that you've been through? What are those moments of victory you've been through? What are those moments of joy you've been through, right? That literally have shaped your life. Because we all have those, every one of us. None of us get through this life unscathed, positively or negatively. Like, we will experience both spectrums of that side. And so look back on your life and take toll on what are those stories. Once you have a list of those stories, right, those moments in your life that happened, whether or not you can tell them as a story, just look at what happened. What was the event? How did it take place? Who was involved? What are the actual tactical elements of this process and this event that were formative? Then look real time into that event and situation, and then look a few years ahead or a couple of months ahead, if that's all you have, and legitimately look at, how did I grow from this story? What did I learn from it? How did it shape me? How did it impact me? What changes in behavior did I actually take place? Did it change how I interact with people? Like, I would literally look, because often, right, we say that nothing happens by coincidence, and there's a lesson in everything that we apply. But if we don't take the time to go back and look, what is the actual lesson? It's lost.
Yes.
Once we've done those two steps, then you can become intentional with not only applying it actively into your real life, but become intentional with, how do you structure a story that's going to be told in a meaningful way, so that not only you can reflect back on it and connect to those lessons that you extracted in those formative moments, but also use them as teaching moments for other people.